shouldn't be very confusing, but it seems that it's confusing for a lot of people. So some of the questions I've been getting, I just want to address a few things that have been brought to my attention or asked of me. So first and foremost, no, I did not fundraise on behalf of anybody for blip boards. I had two people that I'm connected to send me money because they didn't have the apps that were available. Like one didn't have Cash App to send, so I forwarded it over for the person, so on and so forth. But no, I did not raise any other funds for it. I donated out of my own stuff anyways. So that's a no. Secondly, transparency was expected from start on all of them. Now, please hear me out when I say this. Like, yes, I will absolutely say go ask these people for receipts. Questioning any of this is absolutely necessary. That is something I stand for. I don't know how anybody's confused that I don't think transparency is needed. I don't know how that got twisted in anybody's heads that I don't think transparency is needed. Duchess was showing receipts. That's why I was like, go ask. If you have other questions, like, go ask. I don't know what else people want me to say there. I'm not able to like gather all these receipts and show you myself. So I'm going to send you to the source, but she's been showing her stuff. So there's that. So let's separate that part out. Okay. Duchess is a totally different situation. She has been showing her receipts, so on and so forth. Now let's talk about the other people. Yeah, there's some major issues. Sorry, just going to say what it is. There's some major questions that should be asked. Huge questions that should be asked. 30%. Yeah. I'm not sure how many people can read YouTube terms of service and get so many different amounts either. That's another question, but here we are. So why didn't I jump up on Queens yesterday to question what was being said? Because I really truly didn't know what the fuck was going on. Because when I told you guys I stopped watching over there, I stopped watching over there. I saw the writing on the wall. You can go back and hear me talk about something wasn't sitting well with me. It just wasn't. I also made the comment yesterday that I promised that I wouldn't hop on panels. I promised that I wouldn't hop on panels with racists. Okay. Not that I would never go on anybody's panel. I said I would never panel up next to a fucking known racist. Let's be very clear on what I said and what I was talking about. However, when the opportunity is there and questions need to be asked and they continue to do those things and kind of insulate, I'm going to fucking hop up and question somebody. It had nothing to do with me not going on Queen's panel. It had nothing to do with her at all. I don't panel next to racists, period. That's it. I don't send myself spending time over there, and you can feel how you can twist and turn however you want to see. However it is what it is. She said what she said. She stood on what she said. They've said a lot more, so on and so forth. Okay. End of that. I watched JP's last night. I actually finished it this morning. Ooh, hot damn. The OGDC definitely does not forget when receipts are being asked for, they should be provided. This whole like spin talk, circle talk. See, the art of circle talk doesn't work over here on anybody. Faith manipulation, God knows what I'm doing. God sees my heart. No, ma'am. God says show the fucking receipts. Okay, there you go. JP, if you hear this, I'm sure you're at work, but if you hear this later on, the live stream that you're looking for on Dagos is June 7th and 8th. That's when they raised, I think it's about at the end of the June 8th stream, they said that they raised about $500 over there. I don't know the status of that, but that's one of the ones you were looking for yesterday. That did happen. I was all for this with the blip billboards. I'll tell you that. But I really expected transparency across the board. I donated, have no problem with that. But I also had a major issue, and I'm just going to be honest with everybody. The fact of how it was done. To me, it's quality over quantity. And when you're getting 2 6-second blips on a billboard and 30 of them at times that people aren't even driving by or like what's the good of that? So there's that too. So I had some issues right away with some things. But again, not my thing. They volunteered to take it over. Let them be. But I'm going to tell you right off the jump, just off the top of my calculations in my head. I'm just going to throw out some numbers here. So bear with me because this is all I know. I know that a sub sent 1,000 to start with the Clue stuff. That was matched by Clue and Cletus for 1,000, making $2,000. I know that there was a $500 donation sent to help get him going. So that's $2,500. I know that I sent between me and a few others $200 to that one. So that's $2,700 right there off of just a couple donations. I also know that later on, Chris Proudfoot sent $1,000. So that's $3,700. Then I know for a fact that they claimed that they raised $1,500 on Truce. So that's what, $5,200. And then I know for a fact that Dago said that they raised, and I think two little short couple minute sections, about $500. So that's up to like what, $6,200. And that's just a couple of them off the top. That's nothing beyond that. So there's that. That's all I know. But something's not making sense, and why, I'm not really sure. I'm really not sure, but don't ever think for 1 second that I don't think questions should be asked. Now, let me tell you something else. The people that are asking the questions, yeah, you can sit all the fucking way down. Not JP, not the other people. I'm talking about Brittany J specifically. You sit all the fucking way down. Sit all the way down. Shut the fuck up. And I'm going to show you a little clip of that. You sit the fuck down. Sit down. Shut up. Tiffany Marie, you are looking like the biggest clown out here trying to come at me and actually shaming somebody that has been horrifically bullied and mocked and victimized on multiple social media platforms, a veteran of our country. And you use that person to attempt to shame me, you're just a sick fucking twisted bitch, period, point blank, end of story. Like, you go at Duchess over billboards, which wasn't ever over billboards, which you have no business even talking about because you're just a whole fucking loser. Anyways, and you go at her personal life, use this whole little guise of you're doing the right thing to dox her out, go after her husband, and then because I stand up because she's my friend and say that's fucking fucked up and bullshit, you decide to come at me and make me into all these memes. Ma'am, are you that insecure? That's all I got to ask. Are you really that insecure? Because you don't take up any space in my head. I had to be sent the videos and the photos that you were made. I don't follow you. You're nothing to me. You don't take up any space. The only thing I think about is when I'm letting my boobs hang low, like, would this bother Tiffany? When I'm sitting in the mirror, like flopping my tassels around, does this bother Tiffany? Oh my God. Like, you've shown what you are on this app. I don't have to show that. You're doing a fine job doing that all on your own. Keep going at me. Keep showing everybody who you are. Be that big old badass bitch you are. The transphobic, racist, insecure, weak-spined, good for nothing piece of shit you are. I don't have to show it. You're doing plenty of that on your own. Okay, moving on. So there's that. So the people that are asking for receipts have no business asking for receipts, period. But then it goes off like those two specifically. Other than that, ask away. I think transparency is needed. I think that for me, especially, like, this is a huge thing, especially being these are the people that are demanding receipts of Seth Rogers, like the irony of all of this thing. Nah. If you expect transparency from the father of a missing child, even down to when he was at work, but you won't show transparency of what you've taken in on billboards for a missing child, there's some issues there. And that's just going to set people on edge. And maybe there's nothing behind it. Maybe it is all on the up and up. But until you show that, people are going to question it and have every reason to, because the money is being raised off of the back of a missing child. And that's bullshit. Truly. Like, it can be done as a good deed, or it can be done in the way it's being done. And it is. Like, it's absolutely ridiculous. Sorry, hold on. 1 second. Hell yeah. And what you guys choose to do with your money is, we've seen, like, people forget. And I'm going to show a clip of something right quick. That's just the irony of all this kind of like coming to pass. I am not about to tell you where to spend your money or what to believe in. I actually thought there would be transparency on this. I'm really disappointed to see there's not, because I was really excited. Like, people who do the right thing have no problem doing the right thing and showing receipts. They just don't. They don't, because their intent is pure and it doesn't get all this messy way. Now, Duchess did ask for people to volunteer to help and take over it. I opted not to get in that arena. Very, very realistically, why? Like, I don't have the time to deal with all that shit. So I know it's going to be said, well, you didn't take it over. You could have. No, I don't have time. I couldn't give it the proper energy and the time that it's needed to be able to make sure it's done right. So I was not. I would help anybody get it going, because I want to believe in people's genuine intent, especially when it comes to missing kids. But sadly, they prove us wrong over and over again. So there's that. I think, again, carry on, demand those receipts, ask for those receipts, because it's the only way that we can ensure that the right things are being done. Now, I have a problem with the motivation behind some of this. So when Duchess did them, it wasn't about, and this is my opinion, it was not about trying to do it to one up the parents of a missing child or to hate bond over other people, such as Betty. I think that's grimy to begin with. Like, when you're using the hatred of another creator or another person to be like, look at me, I'm this great human. That's not really landing. It doesn't say you're a good human being, that the intent wasn't pure to begin with. I don't know if that makes sense. But the motivation behind most of this has been out of hate. Duchess is the only one that I can stand there and say it wasn't. It was, she wanted to do it to get Sebastian's face out there. And that's very clear and very separate. The other ones where we're going to one up, we're going to do this. And it didn't start out that way, but it quickly turned that way. And then the ones from TikTok. Okay, let me just shut that whole fucking thing down. You guys, do you really think I care what a bunch of TikTok twits are going to say about me? Do you really think it hurt my feelings that some fucking random lady by the name of Barbecue Lady said, I don't know who you are? Do you really think I give a fuck? Do you really think come on now? This is what they do. They sit over there, they talk shit, they call themselves true crime. If you ever for 1 second think that it's going to take up space in my head that some lady that put herself in the position of having a tip line for a missing child is going to hurt my feelings, you're wrong.